Hi, my name is Carl Ray, CEO of Della Tours in San Jose, California, a graduate of Tuskegee University in Alabama. Since 1987, I've taken over 5,000 students from all over America to visit historical black colleges and universities. On several occasions, students have had the opportunity to meet some of our greatest African American heroes. Each year we visit Moulton Field in Tuskegee, Alabama, where the Tuskegee Airmen train. Thanks to George Lucas and the movie Red Tails, millions of Americans now know their story. In November of 1994, the students had the opportunity to meet one of those heroes, Chief Alfred C. Anderson. Chief Anderson was the flight instructor that taught over 1,000 Tuskegee Airmen to fly. Chief was also the pilot who flew Mrs. Eleanor Roosevelt on a 40-minute flight around Tuskegee when she visited Tuskegee in 1941. On the day that we were there, a film crew from London, England was filming a documentary on the life of Chief Anderson. The documentary was shown in England in 1995. America never paid tribute to this patriotic American for his historic accomplishment. Here comes Chief.
There he comes. You're looking at history.
History.
So if you got a camera, you take a picture. Yeah, come on, I'll get in the right seat. Come on, Chief, we got a chair for you.
We got a chair for you. One of my classmates, Brenda, Chief. How are you, nice? My goodness. Come on over, Chief. And good grief, look at here. Yeah, this is a big. This is Jane, who is in ROTC and Angel Flight. Oh, yeah? Yes, here in the first year. Hey, what's 90 years ago? No, not that many years ago. And look at here, Chief, another classmate. Look at here. They're all the way from California. They've been coming. Come on over, Chief. We'll get you up in the chair.
Come on, Chief, to the chair.
Oh, you can. I don't know if I want to stand up in there.
We'll hold you up here.
Okay. Okay.
I'll stand up here at top.
Oh, you can just put your hand on my shoulder and stand up in there. Okay.
Let me get on this side.
Okay, get on this side. Let's see in there. There you go.
There we go.
All right. Okay, Chief. Now you can see them.
Yeah. Welcome to Tuskegee.
Thank you.
And particularly out to the airport. I'm so glad to see you come out here. Generally, it's just interesting to see people taking interest in something like this. It makes me feel very, very good. Something I've always looked forward to. See how people take an interest in, particularly in aviation. Because it's a very, very popular thing now throughout the world, and something we should all participate in. Yeah. And Colonel Lewis is doing a beautiful, beautiful job out here. It's amazing. We have airplanes coming in here from various parts of the country, even from Europe, and flown out of here from Europe and around the world. It's something very few people know anything about. So I'm glad that you came out to take a look. Here particularly, and by the way, you know, this is where Tuskegee Airmen trained out here at this field. And of course, it wasn't like it is now. It was just a big grass field out there. And this is where they started their flying. And the Stearman, when they first came here, when they came in here first, they didn't have any flying whatsoever. They actually learned to fly right here on this particular field. They got 70 hours, and including aerobatics, ordinary flying, and aerobatics and whatnot. And anytime anybody gets 70 hours, they know how to fly. Then when they left here, they went over here to the old air base to get advanced training in heavy aircraft, and also in fighter aircraft, P-40s and some other type. So this is the beginning of blacks in the Army Air Corps, right here at Tuskegee. And the interesting thing of it is, when they started this program, it was called experimental. Because they said that this can't work, these guys can't fly. It's going to fail. That's why they called it Tuskegee Experiment. They expected it to fail. But the guys were some of them a lot of them are very, very talented. And had no problem whatsoever. Even when they went overseas, they figured, oh, these guys are not going to be fighter pilots, and the Germans started after them, they're going to hightail it and run. No, they didn't do that. The first time they got a chance to get out in combat with the Germans, they shot down 16 airplanes in one day. Can you imagine that?
That's a record for the war.
16 airplanes. And also they sank a destroyer.
The only one fighter aircraft sank during the war?
Well, if you have any questions, all right, because...
Chief, when did you first start flying? What year?
I got a license in 29. I started around 1928.
28.
And Chief, tell them who taught you to fly. Listen to this.
I learned to fly myself. Because in those days it was taboo to work for black or teach blacks flying aircraft. A lot of places you couldn't even get a ride in the airplane, let alone have someone give you instructions. So I had to buy an airplane and learn how to use it.
Now, how would you all like to go out there? Let me give you the key to my airplane and crank it up and go flying.
Chief, I heard some, as far as licensed pilots, black pilots in America, were you first or near the first, or what happened on that?
I was near the, actually I was the second pilot to get a private license, and the first pilot to get a transport license. A young man out in California by the name of Banning got the first private license, and I came along next, and then I actually got the first transport, a commercial license. That was back around 1932. I had a lot of difficulty getting that. As a matter of fact, if it hadn't been for a German pilot in the First World War by the name of Ernest Buell, I wouldn't have been able to acquire that license. He was actually my first instructor to get me qualified for a transport license. And then when we went to go to get the license, take the examination, the government inspector then, who came to give the examination, when he found out who it was, he told Ernie Buell, I can't give this license. I'm not going to give this check ride to a colored boy. I've never done that before. And Ernie Buell said, the hell do you not? You're going to give it to him. He threatened him. Anyway, he really made him threaten him and told him he had to give me the check ride. And after I got the check ride, after I passed the written, I heard him in the conversation in the room say, well, how did he do? And the man said, well, he made 100 in his written and did very well in his flight, but I'll give him 80 and that'll pass.
Now, another question I want to ask you, let's see what it was concerning, the number of flight hours. I was reading somewhere of the number of hours you had versus another. Are you first or second in the human being that have flown the most hours?
Well, Chief is very, very easy on this. So this is Mr. Modesty. We think Chief has in excess of 52,000 flight hours with all the folks he's taught, and that puts him number 2 or 3 in the world as far as we know. We've had the generals at the Pentagon look at a number of things, and I heard General Rufus Phillips, class of 49, give that speech in Chicago in preparation for the 100th anniversary of Tuskegee. And all the black general officers who were alive who graduated from Tuskegee were there. There were 8 at that time. And he specifically touched on Chief. And also the fact that the Tuskegee Airmen flew over 200 escort missions of Allied bombers, and while other bomb groups suffered up to 34% losses during the war in going to Romania, to Germany, Palestine oil fields, and Berlin, the Tuskegee Airmen aircraft that were escorted got there and always got back. They never lost an Allied bomber in over 200 missions, and that stands by itself in the war. And this is the man who trained the guys.
You wanted to know something about female pilots?
Oh yeah, I said, were there any female women?
Women pilots? Were there any women pilots during that time? Like
well, you know, in the beginning there was Bessie Coleman.
Yes. She was a stunt lady.
Huh?
Was she a stunt flyer?
Yeah, in other words, the main thing of it is that in order for anybody to fly at that time, you couldn't get training in this country. And she went to Europe to learn to fly. Now, she got, I think she got a French license. And there's also a man by the name of Bullock right over here in Columbus, Georgia, from Columbus rather, who flew in the First World War. But,
with the French.
With the French Air Corps. Now that's in the First World War. You don't hear very, very little about it. You don't hear hardly anything about it.
And you never see that in the California history books?